Welcome to episode 2 of the Only Up From Here podcast with Logan and Brooke, proudly sponsored by Up Leather Designs. You can find them at upleatherdesigns.com and on virtually all other platforms at Up Leather Designs. That's UP and then Leather Designs. Today's topic we're talking about today is tips for productivity. Let's get into it.
All right, so where does productivity start? Pretty much starts at the beginning of the day, hey?
Yeah, having a good routine, a good foundation, and just setting your day up for success.
And even that's like the macro of it. If you dive into the micro of it, you wake up with on time on your alarm clock, and you wake up. First thoughts are positive thoughts as much as you possibly can. Some days it's not as hard or not as easy as others, but you always want to try and wake up with a positive thought. Do whatever thing you do in the morning. Stretch out a little bit if you can. We always like to wake up a few hours before we even have to go to our day job.
Yeah.
Which consists of packing our lunches, making our breakfast, taking the dogs for a walk. And on our walk with the dogs, we always say our what's the word I'm thinking of?
Our mantras for the day.
Yeah, our morning mantras for the day.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then repeat them throughout the day also.
Yeah, whenever you they come to your head, you just kind of bring it up and say them a few times and continue on. But yeah, and then we like to not be rushed in the morning and be able to just like fully wake up and just like just get ready for the day. And one of the things that I've picked up on recently is on my own personal account that I'm doing is just like a daily something that first thing that comes to my head, whether I'm feeling good or not feeling good about doing it, I'm just gonna post it, and that's what it is. Those were my thoughts, and that's just another building block to my morning routine to start helping me think more positive.
Yeah, and just like helping other people out too. Like you said, it's not always, you're not always feeling good first thing in the morning, but it's about like eliminating that cancerous mentality if it isn't so good when you first get up, and then just like reverting those thoughts to positive to make your day go better and turn out more successful. Whereas if you lead into and feed into those negative thoughts, then sometimes your day can take a downward spiral. So starting. But I think, anything else to say on that?
Well, I just want to talk about like why I'm doing it personally. I'm doing it mainly, or one thing is for my speech to help be able to talk longer and like
articulate
better. It also helps me start challenging my mind right away to try and think about those bigger like life things that you need to think about immediately, and so if I'm starting to think about that immediately, then all those other thoughts that shouldn't matter tend to dwindle out throughout the day, and I'm not concerned about those. Instead, I'm thinking about, okay, today I talked about gratitude, or like things
exactly.
like
that. Like something may have happened. I mean, even anything from like a shitty sleep to like something stressful at work the day before or something like that. That like if you wake up thinking about that, then you can have the day turn out the exact same way. And like you say, you just like revert that and
exactly. And I just want to touch every single person on this planet to be able to really have a positive outlook on life, because there's room for everybody. It's not just a select few. I want every single person to be happy and positive.
Just get the most out of every day and your life and everything like that. But like, exactly. And that definitely, our routine now, that's a little bit into what our routine is like to start the day now, but it definitely wasn't always like that. We definitely used to lead a lot more of like a rushed lifestyle for sure, in like waking up, not eating breakfast most days, rushing to get out the door kind of thing, like you 15 minutes before going to work and me maybe half an hour, like it wasn't always that way. So I think
That's those building blocks that I was
Exactly.
talking about.
So
I added one more building block in the last couple of weeks, like where you want to continue to build those Lego blocks.
yeah, the growing never stops. You just like, we have a good routine right now, but it's always evolving. It's always changing. It's not the same. It was good, very different 2 years ago than it was 5 years ago, but it's going to be different next week maybe than it is now too. Like, it's always evolving and always growing, and just like keep that in mind, because where you are now, it can always be greater than where you are now, than where you were yesterday.
Yeah.
So
Keeping that foundation though.
Yeah. So I think like that's kind of what our routine is like now, but we started with like, so you decide where you want to be, like the point that you want to get to, and then you break it down really small to make it attainable and achievable for yourself. So like that's what we did to set ourselves up for success. Like years ago when we made lifestyle changes, it's like you start with what you want out of it, and then we can kind of break down the small steps of how we got there, like the tips that really help us with our routine. But you start with where you want to be, whether that's like growing a business, whether it's getting a degree, whether it's just making a lifestyle change, like literally whatever it is. Start with that big thing and then break it down really small to all the things you can do, minute by minute, day by day, week by week, month by month to get there. So you're not focused, dialed in on that one thing. You got to break it down for all the little things that can help you get there, just from your routine, like down to the nitty gritty of your routine every day.
Yeah, the routine makes a big difference, because when you have a routine, you can you now know what your schedule is going to look like in the day. But if you're always scattered, you don't know what you're going to, like, you can't plan for those couple things in the morning or like after work or even on your breaks.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
so make sure you, oh man, I totally lost my train of thought.
That's fine. No, I just think
what did I just say?
Where
No,
was I going
just tell
now?
me what I just said.
You said so you can schedule like.
Oh yeah,
what
yeah.
you're gonna do.
You wanna be able to first see those open slots in your day, and you can plan ahead. If you have things that you have to do after work, you have to take your kids to a sport or an activity, or you have activities yourself that you have to go to. Now you can say, okay, that takes up an hour and a half of time. Now I have this X amount of time left over that I can do. I got to cook and on all of that too, so that minimizes that little bit of time, and you're working in 15-minute increments instead of half an hour and hour increments.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't like plan, set yourself up for success, you just like are scattered all the time. One, it's going to take you a hell of a lot longer to get to where you're going. That's just facts for sure. And it just leads to more stress and more chaos in your life.
Leading yourself blind.
Exactly. And if you let yourself build up stress and chaos in that journey of trying to get to where you're going, it's not going to be enjoyable, and you're going to lose sight of it, and then you just fade out of those things, and then 2 years later you go, oh shit, I really wanted to get there, what did I do wrong? And then you try again, and you just need to set yourself up for success in the beginning. Obviously not every day goes perfectly planned, but you set yourself up for success, and
as best as what you can do,
best as what you can possibly do that day in that moment. And yeah,
do your best.
So yeah, I guess just in the steps of building a routine, what are like the things you start with? Like you say, when we wake up, so sleep, we get an adequate amount of sleep, which what's an adequate amount of sleep for us?
we
7 hours,
6 to 7 hours
a day.
And that's from 9 or 10 p.m. we'll fall asleep, and we'll be up by 4:30 every day.
Yep.
Even on weekends.
And I definitely wasn't always on weekends before, but like we have very clear sight of where we want to be now, and that's 7 days a week we do that no matter what. And
we've been doing that for like well over a year now.
Yeah, exactly. Once in a while on a Saturday, Sunday, we'll take an extra hour of sleep, but we'll go to bed earlier or something like that. Like we shut it down for the evening, try to like put our work away by 8 p.m. and settle down for the night, put our phones away, and just like start winding down our minds and everything like that. Get ready for bed, and then yeah, like Logan said, sleeping by 9 or 10, and then that's a perfectly adequate amount of sleep for us.
And a lot of people have asked us if we're get burnt out or anything like that, and definitely at the beginning we were getting burnt out. There's a few times where we have definitely felt being burnt out over the last 5 to 6 years, and so has everybody. But the biggest thing in the past year and a half was that there's been, don't get me wrong, there has been a couple times in the earliest times of starting this company where we were really we were working extended hours, and we did get a little burnt out. But now we've we've dialed in our routine a lot better, but at the same time my energy to be able to get to where I want to be in this totally outweighs the amount of energy that it's getting sucked out. So I've always like in a surplus of energy to be able to like just keep executing every single day. And I've never had I haven't had a time in a very long, like a day in a very long time where I've been like really gassed and just like couldn't do anything. I've been really like when you really find something that you really want, there's just some sort of fire that lights up under you, and you just get that adrenaline flowing.
Exactly. And the like burnout that you like say, I find always just would come when we weren't doing our routine, weren't following our routine. Something happened in that, like you say, we worked past extended hours, and like 8 is that perfect time we've found for us to wind down, to get settled, to get ready for the evening. So like just a little thing like that, like going out of that, or like not exercising enough in the week, not this or that. That's where I've found we got that burnout from, where people will just say, oh, you're just working too hard, you're this. No, it's like dial in your routine, make the tweaks, make the changes. You're always perfecting it, like, and then you're not gonna have burnout. But also it's not a bad thing. Like, it's just been such a demonized term to say burnout in like our age group. I find like with like you just like it's not a bad
too hard.
It's not a bad thing to be working hard. It's not a bad thing to have a passion and have something that you're working hard for, where you see your life going. It's not a bad thing to have your sights set on something that you really want to achieve. And if you have burnout, then you probably just need to change up your routine a little bit and dial it in, figure it out, and get that balance right of everything and keep working on your goal. It doesn't mean you quit. It doesn't mean you stop. It just means you adjust. And I hate hearing burnout as such a bad thing. Obviously, it can be if you don't have the right tools to, like, find that balance. But I just think you just need to find that balance, make everything work, and don't take that as a sign to give up. Just take that as a sign to figure out your routine a little better, dial it in, and yeah.
And every time I've noticed that I have burnt out I've been able to I like built up more strength, almost like
exactly.
it's like an endurance race. Like you're on a marathon right now, so you're trying to continue. You're just trying to continue to push through it no matter what. And when you do get burnt out, make sure you do take a break.
Yeah,
you do need that,
because that's
your body telling you to like smarten up. But at the same time, if you get right into it again, like in a day or whatever, take a day off, take 2 days off, and get right back into it, you'll be way more energized, and you'll be able to last even longer, because you didn't wait a whole week. Your endurance your level is still up here, and then you take that little break, it might decline a hair, but then you left off in the same spot, so your endurance is going to continue going.
When you come out of it, your energy is tenfold, like you say your energy is tenfold to just get back at that, like, yeah, take that break, listen
day
to,
or two break, not long,
and take the time to think about like your routine, to think about what you were doing. Did something change in the past week? Is there something lingering in your mind, like some like problem or stress or something like that caused that? Like, take that time to um to make it not happen again. Yeah, to like figure it out and process it, not just like ignore it. Like, process why that kind of happened, and take your break and get back into it, and your energy will just like skyrocket from there. Exactly. Yeah. And some other one of our so sleep we're talking about. Then when you wake up, first thing I do is I always hydrate my body, have some water, do that, and then we always like exercise is like our first thing, just in the simple form of taking our dogs for a walk. It's not always going straight to the gym in the morning. It's going out for a walk first thing with our dogs, moving our body, breathing the fresh air, like taking in some big deep breaths. 6 deep breaths. And when you do get out of bed, when your alarm does go off, if you're someone who struggles with hitting snooze and not getting out of bed right away, use the 5 4 3 2 1 method. Your alarm goes off, you say 5 4 3 2 1 in your head, and your feet touch the ground when you say 1 when you say 1, and then you get out of bed and you start your day. Use that rule, and just like, I know it sounds so simple, but it really does work. If you're like, alarm goes off, 5 4 3 2 1, step out of bed. I keep my water bottle right beside me, open it up instantly, take a big drink of water, and kick off the day, get ready to go for a walk.
Every time you hit snooze, you're going to be that much more groggy by the time you do wake up.
Exactly, because it's broken up sleep. You're not
gaining anything for hitting snooze at all.
Exactly.
It's just your laziness kicking in.
Exactly. And then that laziness kicks in, or you say, I need this sleep, but then when you wake up and you're more groggy and you didn't get as much done, then your mind is not in a good place anymore, not in a good space anymore, because you're regretting not getting up, you're regretting not doing that. Listen to your body, obviously, like we said. Sometimes we need an extra hour of sleep. Sometimes we need to take the morning a little bit slower, go on a longer walk, whatever it is, but it's not hitting snooze 15 times. It's still getting up, maybe taking a longer walk, taking a little more time in the fresh air, taking 5 minutes to enjoy our coffee, like it's something like that. Like, if just listen to your body. That's a huge thing that we've like really become in tune with.
Make sure you listen to your body and not your head.
Yeah, listen to your body.
Because your head will say a lot of shit that you should be doing
just
too.
Like becoming intuitive with your body and what it needs and when it needs it is like such a special kind of connection with your own self.
Yeah.
And just like, yeah. So when you can really like fine tune that, it's
makes a world of a difference.
So then sometimes every single day we go for a walk, but then sometimes we go to the gym in the morning, and we used to just do that on weekend mornings, but now we are doing it in the morning before we go to our day jobs, because we find that time
after work
is more productively spent when we can stay home and work on our leather business and do that, instead of breaking it up by coming home, needing to make supper, then go to the gym, then come home and then do that work. We found that balance of to do it in the morning, first thing, go, not every day,
for half an hour.
We
spend 30 minutes at the gym and we do 4 exercises at a time.
And I know that sounds crazy to some people who spend 2.5 hours whatever at the gym, but we find we do.
What are you doing in those 2 hours? What honestly are you doing in those 2 hours that you're there? Even an hour? An hour, if you're doing 4 to 6 exercises, it should be no more than an hour.
Exactly. And all the power to you if you just like being there, if that's therapeutic. If you have that time to be there and you want to be there, sure. But like, even just like, even when we were personal training before, we spent a lot more time definitely in the gym. Not all the time, but just like the knowledge we have now and the intuitiveness with our bodies and just like learning since we were personal trainers, it's just like the dialed inness we have with like the time we need to be there is just like so cool. Like, to go and just be efficient with the time. Do 4 to 6 exercises. Typically, it's only 4 we do, just at a faster pace.
Four sets each.
4 sets each at the way we like whatever we do
strength
at
building still.
Strength building, because that's what we're always focusing on, and it's efficient, and it's not like we're not seeing growth. I'm seeing more growth now with these faster paced, more efficient workouts this way than I was when we would go spend an hour and a half in the gym, because half the time you're just lollygagging around or taking way too long between sets.
Talking to people.
And if you have the time to do it, that's what you want to do it. But like, we don't have the time, and we need to be productive there so we can come home and be productive here. And so
that's just all about dialing in. Like that took a few years to figure out like where our schedule is now, because now we have those like 4 hours after work that we're able to work, actually do our Up Leather Designs business. And in the mornings, our mornings we're already up early enough, so we just wake up, go to the gym, bang out a workout, 30 minutes, come back. Thankfully our gym is like a minute drive away, which is awesome, so that's very convenient, and not everybody has that opportunity, but you always just make it happen if you want it to happen.
Yeah, and the other thing about exercise in the morning, whether it's the gym or just going for a walk, whatever it is, exercise increases blood flow to your brain. It like helps you be sharp, helps you start thinking. It increases that blood flow, releases endorphins, which is good for your physical health, which is good for your mental health. And if you have a healthy mind and a healthy body, you can be successful in your routine and just that much more efficient and productive. So
you need a healthy mind, healthy body, and to be nice, and you can do anything.
Exactly. Yeah. if you are lacking in the mental health side, you can't be as productive, as efficient, as successful if you're lacking in any part of that routine. So that's our balance with the exercise part of it. And yeah, it just gives me a boost of energy in the morning to start. Then also when I'm done my day job at the end of the day, when I've been walking around on my feet for 8 hours a day and I'm dog tired, I don't like going to the gym is sometimes not the first thing you want to do. So coming home, then cooking ourselves a good nutritious meal and getting to work on our business, that's where the balance is found. And going to the gym in the morning, like if you're not the kind of person who can have the energy to go to the gym after work, or you say you're going to and you never do, try going in the morning and see.
You might be surprised.
You might be surprised. Yeah, you might be surprised at the boost of energy you get to like go on with your day. Yeah. So after exercise, I don't know, what's the next?
Well, we've been pretty much just talking about our mornings. I mean, our evenings aren't that insane because we pretty much come home and do our business, our Up Leather Designs.
Yeah.
And most of the time, 90% of the days, we finish right at 8 p.m. So we have at least an hour to just like unwind, and like we've been spending a lot of that time actually just talking now.
Yeah.
We used to, as soon as it was 8, we would turn on the TV and start watching episodes of anything. We do that on occasion still. Yeah. We still do that on occasion, but we've been spending more time on just like, I don't know if it's just because we've been building more energy towards what we're doing, which it may be, but we have like, if we feel like we have like we're flowing our ideas a lot more between like 8 and 9 p.m. And we're just like throwing out things that like, hey, this is kind of like what we were doing, and this is how we want it to be, and like why aren't we right there yet, and like all that kind of stuff. And it's just like, I don't know, it's been really good.
Yeah, like we used to be working the same job all the time, so we had the whole day to like bounce ideas off of each other and talk and stuff like that. And now we're working separate jobs, and so we have a lot to talk about at the end of the day, and we always have never-ending things to talk about when it comes to our business. So setting that time, I don't know, it really, like, if you're going through the motions of your day and working, going to the gym, and then you make supper and you're doing more work after, you can kind of lose sight of that like connection part, I guess, of like actually taking the time to like ask how your partner's doing or whatever it is, and like, and even like with yourself, just like, okay, how's everything going with me, how is, like, take that time to,
because usually when we get home, like, we're making food and then we're diving right into work, and we're talking about up leather designs, but like and sometimes a few other things, but like we don't have that real good quality time to be able to like just talk, because in the morning Brooke's doing other stuff and I'm doing things that I need to do, and she's doing stuff that she needs to do, and so we don't really we can't get together until 8 p.m. at the end of the day.
Exactly. Basically. And just like,
so take opportunities like that.
Yeah, take opportunities like that to like check in and connect and reflect. Yeah, it's really awesome. Like Logan said, it's not a bad thing to sit down and watch a show at the end of the day. That's literally the only time we do watch TV. But then we also find that that's moments of productivity we're losing.
Also, so we're like, God damn it, why did we watch 20 minutes of that show at 9 p.m. and we could have been doing something different?
That episode of Grace and Frankie for the 25th time, which is not a bad thing to get a laugh into your day. It's almost like doing that was what made us relax and made us like switch off business mode for the day, was turning on Netflix. But like now we're just good about like that timeline being the point where we turn that switch off, and so just taking that like 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever, to talk is just as good, and makes us still unwind. So just that cue, it's about that cue that like lets you switch off and lets you relax, and
exactly.
So like
you don't
leaving
go ahead.
No, just like that. Another like tip for that productivity is leaving your downtime for the end of the day. Like we were saying before, if you aren't the kind of person who can go to the gym after you're done work because you're too tired, also don't let yourself get into the habit of getting home from work and slumping yourself down on the couch, because if you're the kind of person who, like most people, after you've been working 8-10 hours, whatever it is in the day, if you sit down, you're probably not getting back up that quickly. So don't let yourself.
And then you turn on your distractions.
But like, if you really want to get shit done, if you really have that place set in your mind that you want to get to, just like don't like leave that downtime for the end of the day. That time, that 8 p.m., that 9 p.m., that switch that's the downtime. Unless obviously your body needs
a little bit more time.
Needs a day or whatever it is, something like that. And then also I find that going to the gym in the mornings, what that helps us with is like getting home from work and cooking ourselves a proper nutritious meal, whereas sometimes when we would go to the gym after work, it would leave us in the, oh, now it's already 7 p.m. Now we have to go home and cook supper. Why don't we just grab something on the way home? Which is totally fine, but we've gotten really good at choosing things that are good and like good fuel for our bodies, that are quicker for us to make, so that we're not dreading the timeline that it takes away from work or from the gym or whatever it is to make our food, but also coming home and cooking ourselves a proper nutritious meal. So typically what that looks like for us is like our typical
rice,
chicken, and broccoli.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. That's what we.
But in different ways, like.
Yeah. And because we enjoy
recipes.
It, not because we're health nuts that just want to eat chicken and rice and get buff. It's because we actually enjoy it. Yeah.
Like, we found good recipes, and like we've come up with good recipes that actually make it taste good. So.
And we both love to cook. Yeah, it's not because we're just wanting to cook chicken and rice. But that is typically what we like to eat for a nice, like, quick, efficient meal. Yeah. Yeah. And then I guess you touched on removing distractions. I guess like that's a really really big part of productivity and
of your whole productivity.
Staying efficient.
Yeah, even like we all do it. I even do it, and it's especially hard when your like up leather designs is on our phone or computer, so like everything is right there. So it's really like lots of companies and businesses nowadays are on your phone or like a device, mobile device. So you already are on a device frequently, but the hardest part about it is resisting to go and be a user on the platforms instead of being a creator on the platforms. And then when you become a user on the platforms, that's when you're starting to that's your distraction, and it develops a habit as well.
Yeah, exactly. So we're moving those things. Like when we start working, we turn on music like all the time, or podcasts,
mainly
podcasts or music, because it helps us with our productivity. It helps us work, and it's not like things like, if you're a person who turns on the TV first thing when you get home, try instead turning on a podcast, helping with that growth and
audio podcast. Don't watch something and listen to it.
Don't watch. Yeah, like an audio podcast, like Only Up From Here with Logan and Brooke. Like turn on a podcast when you get home instead of the TV. If you're someone who's prone to doing that, flicking on their remote as soon as you get home, turn on a podcast instead on something that you're really interested in, that's going to help you level up and help you in growth and stuff like that. If you do get distracted by your phone and you need to work on your laptop or whatever it is, like put your phone away or turn off, even just as simple as turning your your notification sounds off, or your notifications off your screen. Like turn those off.
Turn your phone on silent.
Turn your phone on silent. Yeah. Any of
and
those.
Get focused.
Get laser focused. And then, yeah, I think just like prioritizing and setting timelines is kind of one thing. I mean, we talked about it, but we'll touch on it a little bit more. It's like one more tip for
prioritize.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, your time is valuable, so you want to make sure you are using it as optimized as possible. So really, I mean, this goes to like people who surround yourself with people that you want to be like-minded.
Yeah.
And you want to you see excellence in those other people to help you grow. And so you just set your priorities to those people if you're going to be hanging around with people. And you always you're always going to be involved with communicating to people, so try and be involved and prioritize the people that are going to help you
level up. And that goes back to Logan saying how you start your day with your mindset and stuff like that. If your 5 closest people are pessimistic and negative all the time, that's probably why you're waking up with negative thoughts, or you're always focused on your problems, or you're this or you're that. And it's not selfish to remove those toxic people. If you have sights in mind and that you have lingering people that are getting in the way of that, then you need to do something about it and stop talking about it and do something about it, because they're only going to drag you further down in the trap.
Yeah, it's kind of like a crab trap where once the crabs go into the trap and another crab tries to escape, that other crab's going to pull it in.
Pull it right back down.
Keep it down there. You're not leaving until I do.
Yeah.
And they don't leave.
And know that you're not going to get to that next level until you get rid of that. And that doesn't mean get rid of, like, cut out.
Yeah, it doesn't mean like never talk to your parents again. But
if that's who it is,
If that's who it is. But if that means don't be talking to them and calling them all the time every day. Like, talk to them every once in a while. Like,
exactly.
It's always good to keep in touch with people, but like, don't be like, oh man, I need to go message that person, or how is that person doing? It's like, who cares? It's not your freaking life.
If you start your day by talking to your most pessimistic, negative friend, and they're hitting up your DMs constantly with negative things, and oh, my day sucks, and this and that and that, no wonder your freaking day is going terrible. that has a direct effect on you just by getting that message, even if you don't reply, just by getting those messages from that person and feeding into the time it takes for you to read there and think about it. Like, obviously care. We're all mostly all empathetic human beings.
Every negative thought takes away from a positive thought. So
exactly.
Why even worry about messaging those people?
Exactly. Remove the cancerous mentality. Remove the cancerous people, the toxic people in your life. Even goes to people you follow on social media. If the first thing you do is open your phone, which the first thing you do when you wake up should not be looking at your phone. That's about the worst thing you can do, is go on social media first thing.
I look at my phone first.
Yeah, to see how business things are doing.
Yeah, but I'm usually answering messages first thing in the morning.
Logan does. I do not look at my phone.
First, because I take care of it.
Okay. Until like sometimes even like an hour after I get up, an hour, unless I'm putting on music to get ready, that I do not go on social media. I obviously not every day. Sometimes I do.
So I only go on my phone for the first 5 to 15 minutes. It depends how long it takes me to answer all the messages that we have. All the most important messages, anyways, the ones that needed to be immediately answered in the morning, because for some reason I feel really sharp first thing I wake up and I can answer the messages right away. I get those done, and I don't go on my phone until I start doing my daily reels on my own personal page.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. That's a positive thing. Like, I was finding going on social media first thing in the morning wasn't obviously the best thing to be doing. Like I said, it depends on what you're following. If you're waking up, you're answering your messages, you're taking care of customer inquiries, things like that, that's a productive thing to do in the morning. If you're going on, you're seeing all these negative things, negative Nellies on Instagram, or the perfect this and perfect that, and you start playing the compare game first thing in the morning, you're setting your day up for utter failure. Like just remove that distraction. Don't be on your phone first thing in the morning, and switch it out for something positive. Put on some happy music, get up, have some water, go for a walk, step outside on your balcony. If you don't go for a walk, take 6 deep breaths, and find a switch for that. Remove those negative people, those negative social media, anything like that. Remove those distractions, remove those.
And you won't even have to start looking for the positives, because the positives will start flowing in and filling that void.
Yeah, and that kind of, I don't know how much more you have to say, but that kind of goes to kind of how I wanted to close this in saying that, along with everything we just said, is that you word this right, your situation, someone else's situation, doesn't set them up any better to get to point A or point B than you. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Yeah. You can carry on or fall into this, but what someone else has going for them, where they are, maybe they get there faster than you, but that no one person's
at more of an advantage.
Exactly. You, in the end, I know you're gonna some people are gonna have, but such and such may have whatever. No one person has a more advantage than you. You, at the end of the day, make the subjective call as to where you're gonna end up, where your life's gonna turn out, what's gonna happen for you.
These things that you're deciding, these choices that you're making right now, in this moment, are going to play an effect in 5 years.
It comes down to what you want in this second, no matter your situation, no matter your upbringing, no matter where you are right now in this very moment. It comes down to what you want right now and what you really want.
Yeah. In the macro
of it. Yeah. Exactly. And what you're willing to do to get there.
So, I mean, with that was a pretty solid about almost 40 minutes of talking here. So with that, make sure you guys rate us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We are on YouTube as well. You can actually have a watch us as we talk if you want to head over to our YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Please make sure you subscribe. Give us a rating, and please share these podcasts with all your friends. It means a lot more than what you think. Yeah, it's just amazing. And the amount of feedback that we've got from our very first podcast, I mean,
blew us away.
Like, we're actually, our episode 1's trending on Apple Podcasts, which is pretty sweet. It's not top 100, but it's trending. So that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you guys very much, and head over to our Up Leather Designs page mainly on Instagram. That's where we do most of our funneling too. So go check it out. If you don't have Instagram, you can check out Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube. We have some YouTube videos on there if you want to see some older products that we've done. We haven't recorded something new recently, but
yeah, other than our shorts.
But yeah, you can. We got our shorts on there, so yeah, you can head over there and check it out.
Yeah, let us know if you have any questions, anything you guys want to hear, anything you want to know, and we'll make sure to add it into.
Make sure you comment on our podcast video or podcast post for this episode on any comments towards the podcast or what we should be talking about.
Yeah.
Peace.
Awesome. See you guys next time.
That was fucking fire.
That was great.